Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
Wow, it's hot enough out there to fry chicken. So now's the time to find ways to beat the heat, and Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, is the best place to go to get cool. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, which provides complete air conditioning, installation, inspection, and repair services, is offering its air conditioning inspections for just $98. So beat the heat right now by calling Marv's Plumbing and Heating today at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Welcome back. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. Larry Proetti, Nick Proetti. We are back after, we were watching some baseball.
It felt like a month away.
Well, now
it was kind of nice.
Now you can't whine that you don't get any time off because you got to do whatever you want.
We will next week, though, right? Cheyenne Day or something like that?
On
right?
Wednesday? Yeah. We'll shut her down.
There you go.
All right, today's program is being brought to you by Taco John's. Again, your home for loaded potato lays. Taco Tuesday mañana, their new sirloin steak burrito. And they also have for you 6-pack and a pound. So load up at Taco John's of Cheyenne. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30, your home for Jayco products. And again, if you're looking for that fifth wheel or that travel trailer, then you're going to find it today over at Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range. We know them for lunch. We know them for dinner. We know those delicious chicken sandwiches coupled with waffle fries. See them for breakfast. Hash brown scramble, their chicken biscuit, their egg white grill, all for your inspection over at Chick-fil-A, corner of Windmill and Del Range across from Menards. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way, where AJ and Greg and the entire staff invite you to come on by, take a test drive, and take home the Kia of your choice. A lot of good 2018 models still on the lot, so take a test drive today at Kia of Cheyenne.
No, I didn't get mine of my choice. I'd rather have that Stinger, but I can't afford that. I'm just saying, I would have rather gone for the Stinger. How about you buy it, give it to me, and I'll give you my Optima.
Would you like some cheese for that wine?
Oh,
anyway,
please.
Platte Valley Bank with 2 banking locations. You will find Rick and the great staff over at the original location on Vanda High. You'll also find Rick's great staff as well over at the corner of College and Pershing Banking, done the old-fashioned way, customer service all the time. Platte Valley Bank ×2. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs. See Gene and the wonderful crew over at Medicap Pharmacy. Same location as always, Bluegrass Circle next to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body with a couple of locations for you. The main repair center over on Dunn Avenue, and again, the Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard. Remember, it's not clean until it's Lennox clean. We also want to thank First Tier Bank over on Stillwater Avenue, 1508 Stillwater Avenue to be exact. Open Monday through Friday, and you might want to talk to them about their CD rates right now. They have some great APYs associated with them. Mondello's Pizzeria right across the street at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Delicious Paisan cuisine, freshly made every day, including those delicious rolls for those sandwiches or the pizza crust for those delicious pies. Matter of fact, Food Network ranks Joe's Pizza top 10 in the nation. That's how good the pizzas are over at Mondello's Pizzeria. The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council, you can reach them at 635-4592. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, you want to get that air conditioning looked at, get a hold of them at 1515 Logan Avenue. Lincoln Way Liquor, grab a cold one for the ride home. 2825 East Lincoln Way. Make sure you pop it open when you get home. Remember, drink responsibly. And last but not least, we want to welcome on board and say thank you again to our great folks at Pepsi of Cheyenne. They are our scoreboard sponsor, which
welcome on board. They've been with us for quite some time, right?
And what I'm going to say right now about Pepsi of Cheyenne is it's going to be a week scoreboard for the next 2-3 days. So let's go to Nick and see what he has.
Maybe your scoreboard's weak. Mine on this side isn't.
Mine's on a break.
Well, too bad. Figure out something. Again, I improvise. You have to do the same thing. Anyways, from this past weekend, we'll start with local baseball. At least give you a quick recap of the CABA tournament for the Cheyenne Mustangs. They went 4-2, however, lost in the semifinal to that Southern California Renegades team, 11-2. But again, a good showing for the Cheyenne Mustangs. Same for Cheyenne Post 6 as they went 5-2 in the CABA tournament. They as well lost in the semifinal round to Four Corners, where again it was Four Corners versus Southern California in the CABA World Series championship game, where those Southern California Renegades, guess what? They won that championship on Sunday. And also, too, in softball action for Cheyenne Extreme Team Galicia, they were in action up in Casper competing in the Wyoming State Tournament. They went 5-0 and won the Wyoming State Championship. So congratulations to the Cheyenne Extreme Team Galicia. They're competing right now in the national tournament, I do believe, out in Florida. So they are at least far, far away from here in the state of Wyoming. But again, congratulations to Team Galicia. They are the Wyoming State champions.
Major League Baseball is at the break as it is time for the traditional All-Star Game, which will be held in the nation's capital.
Will it? They got a strong chance for rain coming up.
Well, it is on tap for being in the nation's capital. So Home Run Derby is on tap for tonight. And, of course, they have the Celebrity Softball Tournament. So a lot of fun things go on with the All-Star break, and they will have the game hopefully on tap for tomorrow. So, again, baseball at its midway point, taking a break for the All-Star
You don't want to read off the Summer League games?
No, but if you want me to do this,
no.
I can tell. No, real quick here before we take the break. We'll take a look at the NL West standings at the break here for the All-Stars. Dodgers in first place in the West as they lead by a half game over the Diamondbacks. 2 back are the Rocks. For the Giants, 14.5 are the Padres. Cubs leading the Central by 2.5. Phillies up by a half game over the Bravos. In the West, the Astros lead by 5 over the M's. A's are streaking. They're 8 games back. Indians are 7.5 ahead in the Central, and the Red Sox are 4.5 ahead in the East. Our scoreboard and lack of scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
This is the Pepsi that's got a date with your taste buds. We're talking 1,000 bubbles dancing a two-step with you and 2 tacos at 2 a.m.
Order number 83? Come on, you're up!
This is the Pepsi that has mastered the art of the late-night munchies and is always down to dig into some deep dish.
Hey, we don't do deep dish, capiche?
Try telling that to Chicago. This is the Pepsi for po' boys, pulled pork sliders, and the godfather of all sandwiches, the Godfather. This is the Pepsi for street carts, anything a la carte, and is dying to make the leap into your grocery cart. Come on, take us home with you. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 K-Ray.
And welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. We are back after a little rest and again watching some baseball out at Pioneer Park and again at Powers Field concerning Post 6 as well as the Cheyenne Mustangs, who fared okay. Unfortunately, did not make it to the championship round. Monday, we
again, good outing from both teams. So again, making the semifinals, especially on the Cheyenne Mustangs side, at least in Pool A. Again, that Southern California team was just a complete monster out there.
They're a good outfit. There's no doubt about it. And Post 6 did okay as well. Unfortunately, one game where their bats went a little silent. That was a game they really needed to have those bats in play. We are joined again on Monday by TV5's Christy Waite, who joins us. Matter of fact, last week you were in New Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. So it's good to have you back. And you were busy And this was a very busy weekend. This was one of those great weekends before Frontier Days happens, because again, Cowboys and Cowgirls going to be hitting the world's largest outdoor arena coming up this weekend, and that'll be doing that for 9 days. But this was a great weekend for sports. We had golf, and we had Mike Lepore in last week to talk about the 62nd annual Terrell Open, Wyoming Open, Terrell.
Just Wyoming Open. Keep it
Wyoming
like that.
Open.
Just Wyoming Open.
And then, of course, we had the Cobb World Series, and you were out looking at some golf yesterday.
Yep.
And were you following the leaders where you were out yesterday?
So I did follow the leaders. My focus really was just kind of on the local kids. So on the professional side, we had Josh Creel. He went to Central High. He actually played at the Airport Golf Club all throughout his high school career. He actually made his first PGA start earlier this year at the Valero Texas Open. So I wanted to make sure to catch up with him and kind of find out what he was doing. He's just kind of traveling, playing in some opens and trying to qualify for the web.com tour, which is really hard because you do have to go out there and shoot 7 to 8 under to qualify. But I think he's perfectly capable of doing that. And it was kind of interesting because he said when he comes back to Cheyenne, he lives in outside of Oklahoma City right now.
Okay.
So he came back here to Cheyenne to play, but he said, sometimes when I, come back out here, I don't always play as well as I would like. And it's kind of funny because you would think someone
like a hometown jitters or something.
Yeah, he said he gets all jacked up and he wants to play really well for everyone, but he also said the pin placements this week in the tournament were a little tricky. We're kind of tucked in some ridges, so and then the rain yesterday probably made things a little bit tougher too. But nonetheless, he's homegrown, so I wanted to catch up with him, and that was pretty cool. Just kind of getting to see where he's headed.
Just interesting that it kind of gets into the mental factors of the pressures of, hey, it's my home course, I should know it very well. But unfortunately, you kind of get into your mind essentially where you put all this pressure on you, and then you just kind of have, it's kind of where I think Tiger Woods is right now in his PGA career, where again he has all this hype again. Well, look at you, as incorrect as you were coming up in the Masters.
I said I've got egg on my face, and I admit it. Looking at Josh, he was 1 under par for the tournament, so he had a 69, 71, and 69, but he was actually overshadowed by Quentin Pope, the Cheyenne East graduate.
Yeah.
Who was making, getting a paycheck on the professional side, too. So congratulations to Quentin. I know his dad, Matt, over at First Interstate Bank. And Pope shot really well. 66 opening day, 67, and carded a 65 yesterday. And, when you were out there and agree or disagree, the rain that came down was a nice rain. It wasn't blowing. It wasn't thunder and lightning.
It was cold.
But no, I don't even really think it was that cold. It was just a steady, nice rain, which kept everything soft.
It did.
And it really didn't affect those last 3 groups that were out playing on the course yesterday. So we saw some really good scores through the 3-day tournament.
And just really great scores overall. I mean, shoot, I can't go out there and shoot, 6, 7 under, 5 under every day. And on the amateur side, though, we had UW golfer who's going to be a senior this year, John Murdoch, win on the amateur side. And he talked about the rain and said, it rains up in Laramie, too, so it's nothing new for me. So
it's almost if you play golf out here, you're used to any type of weather, whether it's snow, wind, anything and everything. It kind of just prepares you. And we've talked with Paul Hardigan, again, Cheyenne East coach, even having Mike Lepore in, and a few other kind of local golfers. It seems like, not saying you have an advantage, but being out here, it's something that you're kind of used to whatever nature's going to toss at you, and it does kind of work in your favorability, especially if you are, bringing up golfers from Colorado, where it might be a little bit better down in the Castle Rock, Denver area. You're not used to winds or anything, but it's something where you kind of anticipate these local, especially if you know Airport or again Laramie, Prairie View. It's something where maybe you give them a slight handicap, a little slight advantage.
Well, 16 under par is some pretty good shooting as far as I'm concerned. 14 under par was some pretty good shooting. Jeff Keffer won the $10,000 prize. And again, that was a $7,000 prize. This year, the monies were up to $10,000. So that's not a bad little paycheck. And like I said, with the former East product, Quentin Pope, getting a $5,000 paycheck. The scores kind of reflect the guys that were up there on top of the leaderboard. They shot well. And again, if you're shooting 14 under par at the airport golf course in 3 rounds, you're averaging about 65 per round. Like you said, we would all be happy to go out there and shoot 5 under par. But that also tells me how well that course played. As Mike told us last Monday when he was here, that it was in great shape. It was the best shape that he had seen in all the years. And that means if you were a steady golfer hitting it out in the fairway, basically if you were playing fairway golf, your approach shots were getting you on the green, and the greens were in excellent shape. And I'm sure you saw many putts go, a lot of good shots that went right into the cup.
Yeah, they also said, the greens were started off kind of fast in the beginning, and they just kind of sped up too. So there were some really good putts going in. Did see a few that they hit from the fairway, get on the green, and it'd be like just like a couple inches from the hole. Just
that so close.
So close. It's one of those putts where like it's so close and then it doesn't go in. It's just kind of hanging on the edge of the hole.
It's that kind of that fall on your knees kind of moment of how did I miss that one?
Yeah.
Well, and then as you mentioned, John Murdoch from UW, he wins the amateur. Again, that's the 4 and under amateur division where he can't collect the paycheck.
Nope.
But he wins certificates. I guess.
What, bragging rights?
No, you get gift certificates for your day at the office, so to speak, or your 3 days at the office. But
hopefully includes like Eileen's Colossal Cookie or something.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. He shot 195 as well.
Yeah, he basically went out and shot 5 under pretty much all 3 days. I think that's what he did. I mean, the kid's he's unreal. I mean, that's really, for an amateur to come out there and do that is super impressive. And he's going to be a senior.
And he played at Jacoby like the week before when they had the Laramie Open.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think we can expect to see really great things from him coming up his last year at UW. That kid's going to be a big-time pro.
I was going to say for Wyoming, especially for that program, I mean, especially seeing what he's done of recent, absolutely you're kind of drooling over that of, wow, we get one more year with this guy. Let's see what his potential and possibility can be again with Wyoming golf. It's a solid program what they got over there in Laramie, but now having him as maybe top leadership, your captain or something like that. But it's a situation where you're kind of excited to see what he possibly could do for his final year for Wyoming golf over there in Laramie.
Well, in a tribute to our coaches, and again, South just coming into play here a few years ago. You got a lot of young kids that are coming up now through the program that are doing the golf and the tennis and everything else.
And with successful programs as well, too. Again, with East now taking over the reins. Well, Central's always been known as that powerhouse.
Mike Lepore over at Central. You got Paul Hardigan over at Cheyenne East. And we have sent a lot of golfers to the University of Wyoming. And in turn, they have turned around and done some pretty good, not so much rich on the tour yet, but, their careers have blossomed somewhat by going to UW and again playing in tournaments that not necessarily are at Jacoby but on the left coast or they're in Oklahoma, and again they've taken their skills outside of Wyoming and have done very well throughout the years that we've sent products over to UW.
So yesterday, or last night actually, I did a feature piece on Drew McCullough from UW, the senior. He recently turned pro. I butcher his name every time. I know people are probably so mad at me. But
I'm just waiting for that hate chat right now on Periscope and YouTube.
Like, Christy, say it right. It's not that hard.
You're fine.
Basically, he said he attributes a lot of Wyoming's success to the other 3 seniors that joined him last year because he said that they technically changed the culture of the program. And so I asked him, what do you hope to see from these younger golfers coming into UW? And he said he really wants them just to kind of continue the legacy of playing great golf. And, it kind of just goes to show that Quentin Pope and Drew really did leave an imprint on the program. And now we got, young Murdoch coming into his senior year. So,
and again, it's also too, we do have the talent, and especially with the younger athletes with at East, Central, and then potentially at South, once that kind of gets underway. But again, still have to give, at least in my opinion, you still got to give insane amount of credit to, whether it is Mike Lepore or, again, Paul Hardigan, of what they've been teaching. And, again, at least elevating these kids from these local high schools over to University of Wyoming or wherever they move on. And, again, striving in these careers. So it's something where at least, we have the talent, but also, too, we have the leadership that's kind of molding them into it and at least advancing them to have those opportunities and kind of represent the, state of Wyoming, if not the city of Cheyenne. So
what's really funny, and I had to throw this into my story last night, was people have this, funny image of pro golfers. And so I asked Creel, I said, well, what is it like to really be a pro golfer? And he's like, well, it's not money and private jets quite yet. So, you stop and think about the lives that these golfers are living. Mm-hmm. They're on the road all the time. They're spending a lot of money for these tournaments, trying to make the cut to make money. It is essentially just a grind all the time.
Again, when I think of pro golfer, I think of John Daly, of just doing whatever, wearing whatever on that golf course. Again, that guy's my hero.
Well, John Daly, and this goes way back for you guys, when he won his first tournament, we thought, hey, this guy is a long ball hitter. He's kind of like,
he still gives us his
he's like the average Joe. That's what he was like. He was like our average hacker. And, here he goes. He wins the tournament, and everything just kind of unraveled for him. But as of late, he's trying to get some of his life back, and now he qualifies to play on the senior tour if he wants to ever get out there and play on the senior tour.
I like Jimenez. On him.
Oh.
He reminds me of the Dos Equis, he's the most interesting man in the world. I see him and I'm like, he's the most interesting man in golf because he has his ponytail.
Yeah.
And he's smoking a cigar.
Yeah, see, again, John Daly was the OG on that one. He was just doing whatever he wanted, drinking. He was just had that, kind of, I'll do whatever I want.
But it was also his downfall too.
I get that.
He did have a promise to his career.
You can almost say the same thing for Tiger Woods.
Oh, he's toast. That's a different conversation.
But Tiger Woods made billions of dollars.
Yeah.
John Daly did not make billions of dollars.
Yeah,
did not make. He might have made some millions.
Anyways, though, getting away from at least the Wyoming Open, do want to ask Christy again. You were out there at the tournament this past weekend, but as we talked with Mike, at least last week, about crowds, it was able, at least for fans who wanted to go see some golf action, it was free to head on over to the airport golf course. For what you saw, good crowds on hand watching it, or was it just kind of like a little smattering?
A lot of raincoats yesterday.
Well, again, there was other days as well, too, of this tournament. But, were people out there at least watching these kind of athletes take place in the Wyoming Open?
Yeah, definitely. I think people who follow golf here in Wyoming definitely went out to go see kind of what was going on, especially with some of the names that were playing. So I saw a pretty decent crowd on hand. Even heading into yesterday's final round, there was, some people, even if it's just family and friends that were, waiting by the 18th hole for that last wrap up. So and the parking lot was full too. So
not too bad. Again, where you're competing with Caba and everything else. Again, it was good opportunities for folks at least to go see two major events here in town.
Right, and that'll also lead into our next discussion here because we'll keep it on golf.
Well, we'll need to take a break too.
Well, I know we'll take that, but we'll keep it on golf here because yesterday you had the TPC Deer Classic where that young man Kim. He destroyed the course. 27 under par. There's another up-and-comer, the Paisan Molinari, and this is why I'm bringing this up to her right now because you got the Open coming up this weekend. This is, in addition to having the Spieth of the world and Tiger's going to be there.
He's not going to do anything.
I'm not saying he is, but I'm just, and Mickelson. This is a wide-open field. Nobody really has won 10 tournaments in a row to grab the favorite, but the Open, this is the classic golf tournament.
Yeah. Gosh, and it's actually probably one of my favorites other than the Masters because all the big names. You got Spieth, you got Fowler, you got Justin Thomas, Phil Mickelson. You got to love Phil. And then, of course, everyone wants to find out how Tiger is going to do, but I don't think he's going to do anything.
He's not winning.
He's not winning. I personally don't think he's ever going to win another major. I think he's done. That's my opinion, and people will obviously argue that.
Hey, I'm on your side. I've been calling it for quite some time. Again, I'm the leader of that charge of Tiger, he's going to win some rinky-dink tournament out there. Absolutely. I wouldn't doubt that. But again, the major four, sorry, Tiger, you're done.
Yeah,
you're just give up at this point in time. He's a shell of himself. He's not the Tiger we'll ever see again. He is, again, he's average on the sense of PGA. He'd come out here and probably whip on everyone, but it's a situation where, again, you're going against top-class world athletes.
But here's what
he's middle of the pack.
Here's what you forget, though. He's got what they call exemption. He can play in all the majors whenever he wants.
Yeah, that exemption will run out as soon as he kind of makes a fool of himself.
If that's going to be 10 to 20 years from now, then I guess he'll run out. But he is exempt because he has won those tournaments.
Oh, yeah.
And you are usually given like a 10, 15, 20-year exemption to play in these particular tournaments. So, again, when the Open comes up, he's healthy, he wants to go play, he's going to go across the pond and play.
I guess so.
Yeah, he'll play, but
yeah, and whether he wins, the one guy that I'm really concerned about here in this tournament is Spieth. He has not played. There's a time he played well, and then he's been kind of more down than up.
I know. I noticed that too. I was like, "What the heck is going on with Spieth?" And I don't know. I think his putting game hasn't been very well.
And then you have Johnson, not
DJ.
Yeah, and I mean he's playing well in just about every tournament he plays in. And he'll win a tournament here and there, but he's never consistent. But doggone it, he's in the consistency part, he's in the top 10 most of the time, but he is not running string of victories together.
And I've been disappointed in Rory McIlroy, too, because he's always been, fun to watch. And lately I'm like...
And he'll be one of the favorites over there at the Open.
Probably Jason Day as well, because he's been successful. He was number one in the world for a while.
But he's had his struggles this year, too. Yes, a lot of the guys that were at the top of the leaderboard have not been at the top throughout the course of 2018. We're going to take a time out.
I'm glad you keep on top of this. Again, it's baseball right now.
It's called sports.
It's baseball. Again, we're getting preseason football close as much as I could care less. But, what?
It's a sports talk show. You should know all your sports.
You want to talk about, we can go in the World Cup.
Yeah, France beat Croatia.
I'm surprised you even know that.
I know that.
Anyways,
I follow everything. We're going to take a time out.
Don't even give me that.
We'll be right back with more after these words on 1480 K-Ray.
The time is now, and the place to go is Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service for their annual model clearance sale of Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. This is your year to travel the countryside, and what better way with your Jayco RV from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And to put you on the road today, save 30% on their annual model clearance. Their savings are always the best on whatever model you select. Come see and take home your favorite today when you buy from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service at 6102 East Highway 30 in Cheyenne, or go online to jollyrogersrvs.com.
John Mason here for Lincoln Way Liquor. I want to thank Cheyenne for helping us grow during our first year of business. We have over 5,000 new customers in our database in just 13 months. Our customers love our low prices, free ice, 2% credit for future purchases, and some really friendly service. And we always have 16 weekly specials on beer, wine, and liquor. We ask you to compare Lincoln Way Liquor, 2825 East Lincoln Way. We're not the largest, but we might just be the best.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
All right, good half of football, boys. Now, good is good, but we can always be better. Look at Taco John's. They took those tasty little potato lays and loaded them up with bacon and ranch and all kinds of good stuff. They made something good even better.
Taco John's new loaded potato olays are loaded with craveable toppings for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even dessert.
So Olay the Day, boys, and play like you're making loaded potato lays.
Olay the Day at Taco John's.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
Otherwise, for today, mostly sunny with a chance for showers and thunderstorms. Expected daytime high of 80 degrees. For tonight, mostly cloudy with a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Our low drop down to 55. Tuesday's forecast calling for a partly sunny day. We're expecting a daytime high of 82. And for Tuesday night, partly cloudy with our low down to 56 degrees.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame.
Let's play ball!
You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
As we are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today, and again, it is the All-Star break. We'll get to baseball, and a lot of it happened here in Cheyenne this past week. Just a couple other world notes to come about. Again, the World Cup of Soccer for the guys is over. It was an all-European, Final Four, and France defeats Croatia.
Yeah. Finally.
You were going for Croatia?
I can't stand.
I didn't have a dog in the fight. Yeah.
I can't stand France. Again, I go off of what they did back against Italy. What was that? 2004-ish, 2008. Again, with the infamous headbutt against the Italian play. I just France. Congratulations, good on you. But there's always just kind of that hate back in there. I thought again as a surprise, nothing against France, but. Especially more on the Croatia side, I figure England it'd have been an England versus France match, but. Now, again, all credit goes to Croatia, a team that's kind of floated under the radar a bit, where, again, you're talking where England was kind of at the prime of its game, France was there. Again, you can't discount Brazil, Mexico were kind of the top four favorites, but Croatia kind of snuck by and, again, took down a lot of those powerhouses and made it to them. So, again, congratulations to the Croatians, at least as far as you made it, and, there's 4 years, there's always the next 4 years for you, Croatia.
I think they're like the second or third smallest country to ever be in a World Cup. I read that somewhere. I can't remember if they're like the second.
Well, you got to remember France flopped here a couple 3 years ago against Portugal. So I mean they were favored to win it, but this year they kind of not so much flew under the radar, but pretty much. I mean,
they went according to powerhouse.
They went according to Hoyle to get to that final spot. And then winning it is bonus, so to speak.
But, again, France, I would say they kind of floated on the radar throughout this World Cup where, again, you are tossing out. Spain was in this. Again, Portugal with their representation. Again, England was up top. Brazil, Mexico. Again, a lot of these teams and mentioning were at one point in time favorites, if not, expected to win this thing. And, I would say it's half and half of a surprise that France did win this, but also too again it is an organization, or at least I should say a national team that is known for winning, for advancing pretty far in the World Cup, getting things done, and good on you, France.
Well, and then Wimbledon, which again is to me when we have these big tournaments, it kind of tells me summer's moving by real fast. So here's Wimbledon, and Novak Djokovic won his fourth on the men's side. Unfortunately for the Yanks and Serena Williams, who, again, I think in this tournament, if I remember reading it right, she was like ranked 25th, on the Wimbledon ladies side, but made it all the way to the finals, which surprises hardly anybody. But
I was going to say, it should not surprise anyone.
No, but we were talking off air, and this has been a struggle, a battle back for her since the pregnancy, giving birth, and then getting herself back into playing shape. And then she had a couple of issues health-wise.
I was going to say, she's been dealing with a lot of issues, though, for the past couple of years. Again, whether it is, not saying with the recent pregnancy, but, again, with health injuries.
This was due to the pregnancy that she had some of these health issues, and she's still playing top-flight tennis. And again, winning Wimbledon wouldn't have surprised me on Saturday, but finishing second tells me that she really came through with flying colors throughout the course of the tournament. Again, she's on the low side of the rankings here at Wimbledon, and she's beating, top flight opponents in her bracket, and then again losing at the end. But again, she fared very well.
Yeah, we were saying how a lot of particularly women were just upset with her ranking because they felt like, I guess, she was being punished or whatever for being a mom or a new mom, and then going out and playing tennis. Like, I don't know, being a full-time mom and then being a super tennis star player, that's a lot of work.
Yeah,
it certainly takes a lot of time.
And I wonder again, as I kind of think of like the betting rolls and Vegas mentality, but whatever matchup she went throughout Wimbledon, especially this year, there's no way she could have been an underdog at the point. Again, there's no way, especially with her ranking and everything. She's always got to be a favorite going throughout whatever tournament or whatever match play she's got going on. She's just that talented.
She's made her mark in tennis for so long.
Yeah. Well, there was a special on Charter. I can't remember. It was in the 300 series about Serena Williams and what she went through the pregnancy, post-pregnancy, and trying to work herself back into shape. And It's a very good special if you get a chance to watch. I think unless they stop showing it now because Wimbledon is over. But I watched a couple of those episodes, and boy, she had some tough hills to climb to overcome this pregnancy that she had. Anyway,
if anything, it's more, again, with you mentioning that, it's more impressive of what she did than I guess, again, all the trials and tribulations, and then you come back and do what you did, again, as much as you kind of expected out of her, but it kind of speaks worlds of what she can do.
You could say what you want to say about Serena Williams and, of course, her sister Venus, but she's got such a work ethic on the court. She doesn't treat it as an 8-to-5 job. It is when I step onto that court, I've got to win. It's a mental thing with her. I've got to win, and I know it pains her when she faces her sister, but it's like, hey, when they face off, it's Katie bar the door. If you beat me, great, terrific. If you don't, I'm going to crush you, and that's how her approach is. She wants to win any and every time she steps onto the court. Yep. She is a
competitor.
Yeah,
competitor, bloodthirsty, ruthless competitor.
She sets the bar very high, and especially for herself. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to come back. We're going to talk some Cabo World Series. It is complete here in the Cap City, and again, a lot of teams making their way here to play some baseball over the last few days. We're back after these words.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
Are you thinking about purchasing a home? Then Platte Valley Bank can help. With Platte Valley Bank, you can count on local decisions and expect to work with an experienced staff to design a loan to fit your needs. Just log on to pvbank.com and fill out our online application. We have money to lend, and at Platte Valley Bank, we are in the business of fulfilling dreams, enriching lives, and building our community one loan at a time.
All loans subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. We have Christy Wade in from TV5, Larry Perletti and Nick Perletti, and I apologize for that. Just don't know where my head was at.
I hope you realize on Thursday we'll have Jay Folds and not AJ Folds, so hopefully you remember his name.
I screw up once in a while because, I'm 60-plus years old.
It's not once in a while.
Hey, at least I know my sports. What about you, pal?
I do.
Where you at on the golf? Yeah, never mind. Anyway, let's get.
It's on the back burner. There was a lot more action, especially on the local
baseball, where we were hoping. I know we were with the Legion Post Sixers as well as the Mustangs. We were hoping that would have been our championship bracket. Again,
I had high hopes. I thought these teams could do it. Again, clearly both teams made it to the semifinals here in Cabo, but especially after seeing day one of a few of these teams, not saying it was a stretch, but it was going to be a tough road, especially for the Cheyenne Mustangs on their side of the bracket, at least with Pool A, especially that Southern California team. But it was a situation where, again, talking with Rick when we had him on last week, it was a situation where I wholeheartedly believe that Post 6 and the Cheyenne Mustangs could be representing and playing for that championship game. But, again, not too upset that they both made it to the semifinals. Again, it speaks credits of what they did. Again, we're especially on the Cheyenne Mustang side of things. Again, you're taking on teams out of Washington, out of Southern California, a few other Colorado teams, and also to Miles City, Montana.
Yeah.
You had just top-level competition. The Mustangs certainly held their own.
And we were talking about this before the show. I mean, this SoCal team is just unreal.
They are.
They for the championship had a shutout win. I mean, it was 3-0 3-0, but still.
Yeah, again, they
just dominated.
Yeah, Southern California, that Renegade team, as much as we talk with, again, had that information about them, again, Pac-12 recruits, we're talking, they got players that are going to USC, UCLA, Oregon, again, top-level baseball schools that they are committed to. And they showed it this weekend, again, where if not 8 running teams, they were shutting them out and just having their way through Pool A and throughout that tournament. But, the team that kind of gave them that fight, though, in all respect to them, and I hopefully it garners a little bit more respect for the Cheyenne Mustangs, it was that team. Again, out of everyone, I do believe that the Mustangs put up, again, they still got 8 run at a point in time. Again,
they struggled on, what was it, Thursday night?
Well, they struggled both instances against Southern California.
I know, but the first time they went up against them, they got beat 11-3.
It was more so the Mustangs kind of shot themselves in the foot in that first game. Again, remember where a lot of wild pitches, a lot of errors.
Pitching was not. It
was more so the Mustangs kind of shot themselves in the foot on that one. But again, they still held their own compared to other teams that just were either swept by or just had no shot against the Southern Cal team. And again, what the Mustangs did against them and everyone else, Mustangs certainly deserve a lot of respect again in this kind of magical season that they are having.
Well, even the SoCal coaching staff was there when we were at Pioneer Park on Wednesday night when we were watching the opening game when they beat the Bandits.
I think that team that was next to us was actually the Miles City team.
Remember, it was a guy talking on the phone. He was talking about the tournament over in Connecticut, and he was one of the coaches for the Bandits. For SoCal, and he was out there getting a scouting report. And again, when you don't know much about these teams, you try to get as much information as you can. I'm sure that the coaching staff from the Mustangs were out watching SoCal play their first time out. But to their credit, this was a complete team from pitching, great defense. They had great defense, and again, they can muscle up and hit the baseball well. Well, we don't. Again, out here in this part of the world, and I'm sure Christy can relate to this, especially being from New Mexico and me being from the left coast originally, you can play baseball all year round, especially in SoCal.
Oh, yeah.
And again, I know when I play in my older division and we play those teams from SoCal, they play 11 months out of the year. They take the month of December off.
For Christmas.
Yeah, basically. They take the holidays off, but they're back at it again right away in January. I think back to my high school days where, we're at it from January through May.
Right.
And then when May comes along and, whether you're in playoffs or back then I think it was CIF playoffs, then you go right into your summer programs, which take you from June all the way through August. So you're steady playing baseball for 8 consecutive months. And again, these kids here are coming to our part of the world. They are, they're baseball savvy, so to speak. Our kids have jammed in 40-some games, 50 games in a period of a couple of months, plus, getting some gym time and again, being indoors because of the cold weather. Yeah, these guys have been on fields all year round.
Dealing with facilities or lack thereof, especially around this area where, again, you especially that Southern California team or even Showtime Washington baseball, again, you have the likes of Seattle or, again, these major metropolitans that you can kind of take what you can get with out of them. Again, they're going to bring flight facilities and all this opportunity for you where, again, Cheyenne, sorry, we're a little behind the 8 ball on a few things, but
in baseball, it's the drill. See the ball, hit the ball, catch the ball, field the ball, pitch the ball. Those are the basics. But when you have a team that has more opportunity bestowed upon them, being in SoCal, and like you said, facilities are available. They can do more of the simulation type games as opposed to being indoors and hitting off a tee, whatever the case may be. They have more opportunities when you're coming from those type of conditions. Again, New Mexico, even southern New Mexico,
right.
Where the weathers are nice most of the year. You get those. That's to me, it's a luxury, and I know that when I was in the East Bay area, we could play ball all year round. We decided, not to play when it rained, but other than that, the rain stops. You go out and you play on the field again. You're constantly outside all the time. You're not stuck indoors because of ice and snow. But a tribute to the Mustangs. They're only their fourth loss of the season.
Yeah.
They only lost 2 in the tournament. To the Sixers, they lost a couple of games here, and I think they're 40-plus wins on the year. So, again, we got 2 teams that are right now at 90 wins between them.
Well, again, we're at the tail end of the seasons as well, too, where Mustangs will be competing in the at least Colorado State tournament coming up. Post 6 getting ready. At least they have a few at least kind of local action. I do believe games coming up tomorrow against Laramie and then also to Gillette, but they are getting prepared for the Wyoming State tournament.
The league games. And with the Post 6 team, talking with Ty Lane, this team can only be better to be going after the Wyoming State Championship. And if they can succeed, I think with all of the, and I don't want to use the word wear and tear, but all of the tournaments that they have been a part of, Nebraska, Colorado, their own, being part of this CABA tournament, they are battle tested. And again, where their bugaboo's been that that regional tournament when they go up to Montana. I think this year, if they can get past the Wyoming State tournament, win that,
I think they will. It's also being played here in Cheyenne.
Well, also, but what I'm saying is, I think their chances at going at the regional, and that's one thing that they have not been able to accomplish is win that. I think they're battle tested enough now where they won't go 1-2 barbecue in this tournament.
I wanted to say earlier, kind of switching gears a little bit from Post 6 and Mustangs, and you talked about Cheyenne Extreme Softball and how they won state and they're headed to nationals.
Yeah.
The Cheyenne Extreme 10U girls also won state yesterday. I think their coach called me pretty late last night before show, and it's the first time that a 10U team has won, I believe, a state title. So, I mean, that's kind of cool. So we had the CABA World Series. Unfortunately, like Mustangs, Sixers, not advancing.
Yeah.
But, softball bringing home state, the 10U girls bringing home state, and over on the, ladies side, I mean, there was some fire pitching. I don't know if you guys got to see any of their games, the Extreme girls.
No, we haven't. Again, as we talk with Adam Galicia, again, they have difficulty of trying to get games here at Cheyenne, so unfortunately we've kind of missed out on a few. But from talking with at least Adam Galicia, just getting a feeling of this team, they're a pretty good outfit as well too. We can't sell them short. Again, what they did, we not saying you kind of expected them to take care of the Wyoming State tournament, but again, in our talks, had that feeling like they were going to do this up in Casper. Best of luck to them out in the national tournament. Again, I think it's happening out in Florida, but again, where softball is at prime right now, and for the city of Cheyenne, is it a team that's going to be a national championship? That's really hard to say at this point in time. They have had their struggles, especially down in Colorado.
The point is to get there, though.
No, and they absolutely did. But it's a situation where it's go time coming up this weekend for them. And, it's a team that's had its struggles on the road against some top teams, especially in the state of Colorado. So, for the Extreme, it's going to be a tough go for them.
Right.
And even for the Post 6 Sixers, Cheyenne Mustangs, especially where we're getting into these postseason, or at least these kind of big tournaments where eyes are on the major prize for them, I'm not going to sell them short, but it is certainly going to be a tough, where, again, you are going to see these Southern California teams. You are going to see, teams that are not within the Rocky Mountain region. It's going to bring in all sorts of talent.
For the Sixers, Nick, when they get to that point, If they get
get
into that regional, they're going to run into some really good competition. But again, like I feel, and again, this is just me talking out loud. All of that we've covered, and then getting a chance to watch them. This is a team that can explode at any minute.
Mm-hmm. Well, they all can. Again,
no, but
anyway.
But I'm just saying this. But being involved in all of these tournaments and the competition that they have faced, they haven't faced any slackers. I mean, this has been good competition. So it gets them ready for this tournament here, and then again, you go right away up into to the regional tournament. And the one thing that has eluded Post 6 has been that American Legion World Series. And that's what they need to do. They need to take care of business here first, then go up and win that regional tournament. Again, not win one, but get out there and win a couple of games.
Well, it's a situation where you take one step at a time. You got to focus on one thing. Again, obviously it was CABA for them. Now you got to go at least these next few Legion games to kind of wrap up the regular season there, and then focus on the Wyoming State tournament. Same with the Cheyenne Mustangs dealing with the Colorado State tournament. Obviously we can't do a Wyoming State tournament because there's not a whole lot of representation for Connie Mack baseball here, but again, that is kind of their state tournament opportunity to bring home a championship. And then
also qualify for the Connie Mack World Series. I think you have one more shot at qualifying for it, don't you?
According to their schedule, they're already going to be in that Connie Mack World Series, at least competing.
Have you seen anything yet on the schedule? You haven't seen anything like that.
We got the schedule right over there if you want to look at it. But again, they might have just written that down.
No, you said you went on the Connie Mack website.
Well, that's just at least I went off of the Twitter. The Twitter have announced of who were automatic bids, and that Southern California team has got one and everything.
Right.
But again, we'll get that information from Jay Volz coming up this week when he joins us live in studio.
But the point is, we're going back to our local team, including 18 and under Galicia Extreme. You look and 10 and under as well. The ball that has been played, whether it's fast pitch, whether it's hard ball, has just been exciting. We've said this numerous times on this program, but the recognition part comes when you take your game to the next level, and that's what.
I think all three teams are doing that.
No, I think in the case of the Sixers, where we've. And again, I've seen more baseball from Post 6 than you guys have. What I'm saying is, this is one of these years where I'm expecting them to go further than they have. They've stalled. I expect them to, they're not going to sputter. They've got the tools this year to take them a little further. We've seen some of the Mustang games. Their pitching is going to have to carry them a little further if they are going to, be a part of that College World Series. Because
it's a team
that Connie Mack World Series.
It's a team that can't afford errors.
I know, but they got a clue of where their program is right now and where they need to be with that SoCal team. That SoCal team can be a flag bearer for the Connie Mack World Series. They need to get to that point if they are going to. Be not a participant, but be a player in the Connie Mack World Series.
It's going to be tough for them, though, because it's like you said, I mean, these California teams get to practice year-round. We really don't have that luxury, So, but I also don't want to jinx it.
Well, I believe on any given day. You go 9 on 9, okay? Yeah. It's not like these guys are, bringing in telephone poles and swinging them at the plate.
Right.
These guys are, same thing. They put their uniforms on and they
that
swing
Southern
the bat.
California team kind of seemed like they were this.
They were some bigger cats. I will give them that. But the pitching to me that I saw from SoCal did not overwhelm me.
Oh no, not at all.
And again, too.
But again, though, you have to emphasize, especially on that game one against Mustangs and the Renegades there. It was a situation where what we saw in that, again, they held their own. It was scoreless in the first inning. Then the second inning, that's where they kind of piled on, where the Mustangs were, here's a wild pitch, or here's a
pass ball,
an error. It was more so the Mustangs kind of shot themselves in the foot, where they're usually the team that takes advantage of that when other teams do it. But you can't really expect that out of the Southern Cal team, where they're firing on all cylinders and they know what they're doing.
And I don't believe the Mustangs were intimidated, but I think when you get to a point, and when we saw the 11-3 game, when bad things happen, they seem to multiply. And in the case of the Mustangs, that second inning was like the inning from hell. Yeah. It just wouldn't end.
Just kept going.
And again, too, you go through the first inning pretty much unscathed. And then the second inning, everything just goes wrong. You kind of not so much throwing the towel because you're still trying, but it's like the odds were just too much to overcome. And that's just it. You don't spot good teams' runs. Let them earn every run.
Oh, no.
And then if you could scratch out a couple of runs, then you might sneak by and beat these guys. And that's what the Mustangs need to do, is that they need to get on the field confidence that you could beat any and everybody.
And I think they have that confidence.
I understand that. But, get on the field, get the pitching performance you need.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have your ace throwing strikes. You got to make the plays. And, if you need to play small ball, do it. If that wins you a ball game, that's the way you play it.
This is mental. It probably messed up their mental game, too. I mean, getting out there and then you're already down by that many and you're like, is this game ever going to be over? It's going to mess up your way of thinking.
But it's also to a situation, though, where this team, again, this is their fourth loss, and they gained 2 of them here in this tournament against the same team of that Renegades. It's a situation where maybe it was a little bit mentality going into this of you're not used to losing. You're not used to being blown out of the water like they were especially in that second inning there. It's a situation where, in order to kind of overcome that, it's certainly an obstacle where you're going to have to get over that hump of going, all right, we need to figure out how to get back into it, get in the right set of mind, and not let this kind of ruin the whole game.
But also, too, you have a game plan. And again,
I get that.
What do the Mustangs like to do? They like to run.
They like to hit.
Well,
they like to do everything.
Yeah, but they couldn't run.
Yeah.
And you take away a third of their offense right there.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
in that Renegades team. They weren't afraid to steal on them. They're not afraid to steal on anyone. They're not afraid to.
But when you're down by 6 or 7 runs, you kind of put the brakes on. You don't want to steal. You got to play. You want to play it by the cuff, so to speak. You don't want to run yourself out of an inning. And that's one of those situations where you're down and you got to figure a way how to come back and score runs. And they didn't figure that way out. They did not have the answer to the 11 runs that they gave up to SoCal. And again, it kind of took them out of their game.
I will say, when I was out covering, I believe it was one of the Sixers games over the weekend, one of the parents came up to me and was like, "You missed it." And I was like, what did I miss? I guess on Thursday night or maybe Friday, one of the kids, maybe it was like from Casper, I can't remember, one of the kids had a grand slam, but it came in like super clutch for them. And of course, like when I'm out shooting highlights, those are the plays that I personally live for because they don't happen very often. But I mean, to hit a grand slam and come in clutch like that when they were already down, potential is there.
And again, Post 6 had a few games like that where
Thursday, remember we were there and we were going looking at the scores. We were leaving the Mustangs game, and then we were looking. They were losing to NOCO out of northern Colorado, and then they came back and won 20-17 in that game.
Yeah, that was a contest where they were down, I think, at one point 11-7 or something. It was certainly a big climb, at least for the Post 6 Sixers, but they did. There was a 20-17 win. I do believe they had a one-run walk-off victory in this Copa tournament. So, Post 6 had to deal with a few, at least, issues throughout this tournament, but did find ways to win. Again, both teams did, however, lose in that semifinal matchup, one being at least to that Four Corners team out of New Mexico, and then also to the or at least I do believe they're at Arizona, and then also to the Southern California team for the Cheyenne Mustangs. But, overall, this tournament, it was good to see at least what it was anticipated to be of last year, at least bringing all this talent. There were scouts out there. Again, I saw some representation of Washington.
With the gun,
again, he was represented out of Washington State, but
probably watching the Renegades.
Yeah.
He came out. He was watching the kid from the Bandits. Remember, he was the Southpaw.
Yeah.
And he was out there clocking him on the radar.
He probably again, he kind of left quickly because that game got out of hand for him.
And the guy only had through a one-hitter. Remember that? I mean, that's all the Mustangs scratched out was a one hit, but they won 8-0 in that contest. But yeah, the lefty, and I told you, and I picked him up right away. Again, not that I pitched, so I know.
Make it quick. We got to do our legal thing.
But I'm just saying, I picked up his tendencies, how he was going to throw. Yeah. I said when he actually would get into his regular crouch when he threw, put all the weight.
He heard everything.
And when he hurried, and this guy was quick on the pitches. Every time he hurried, that's when he was throwing it in the dirt or leaving it up, whatever the case may be. But this guy from Washington State, was it University of Washington or Washington State?
Washington State. I can tell the Cougar logo.
And I couldn't tell how fast he was going to ever really looked on the gun, but you know what? I mean, everybody was hitting him. He wasn't striking a lot of guys out.
Is it weird that we're in a day and age where I saw a guy unmarked who carried a briefcase around where I go, what has he got in that? Where my, kind of the spidey sense went on, at least alert went on. I was like, what has he got in there? Where a packed crowd, is he? No. Yeah, I'm just saying, is it bad that I had that?
Yeah, that's stupid on your behalf. And the next thing you do, he pulls out a radar gun. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll come back with hour number 2 after these words right here at 1480 KRA.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
Wyoming became the 44th state on July 10, 1890, and holds the honor of being the first state to include women's suffrage in its constitution. Held on the steps of the Capitol building in Cheyenne on July 23rd, the statehood celebration featured many women, including an honor guard of women's militia members and speeches by Teresa Jenkins and Amelia Post. To cap the festivities, Esther Morris presented Governor Warren with a 44-star American flag purchased by the women of Wyoming. This is Mike Strom bringing you a moment in history from the Wyoming State Archives.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? They can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. They have a 16th-month CD at an APY of 2.05% and a 27th-month CD at an APY of 2.27%. You can feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie, member FDIC and equal housing lender. Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range. As Cheyenne's weather turns warmer, dust and pollen can become a problem for those with allergies, asthma, or respiratory issues. And the last thing you want in the summer heat is poor air quality in your home or office. So it's time to turn to Marv's Plumbing and Heating. That's right, Cheyenne's most trusted plumbing, sewer, and heating business also services air conditioning. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, can handle all your air conditioning needs. Give them a call, 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
It is hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Thanks for joining us. We want to thank all our great sponsors. Lincoln Way Liquor at 2825 East Lincoln Way. Marv's Plumbing Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue. The Wyoming Montana Safety Council. Give Tim a call, 635-4592. We also want to thank Mondello's Pizzeria. And again, Losteria Mondello inside Mondello's Pizzeria over at 1507 Stillwater Avenue. Sweet Dean, the Greenway Commons. We thank First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, directly across the street. Lennox Auto Body ×2. The Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard. The Main Repair Center on Dunn Avenue. Medicap Pharmacy, same location as always. They're not going anywhere either. They're over on Bluegrass Circle right next door to Texas Roadhouse. Platte Valley Bank with 2 banking locations. Eastsiders, you'll find them right there at the corner of College and Pershing. Of course, the original location on Vanda High Avenue. Kia of Cheyenne with their location on Nation Way. Do check out what's going on at Kia of Cheyenne today. Chick-fil-A, delicious eats all the time and for breakfast with 2 convenient drive-thrus Monday through Saturday. See Ray and Cindy and the whole crew over at Chick-fil-A of Cheyenne right across from Menards at the corner of Windmill and Del Range. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service, where you will find a great crew to work with over there on Highway 30. We also want to thank Taco John's of Cheyenne, where they are loaded up with all kinds of goodies for you, including their loaded potato olays. Tomorrow it's Taco Tuesday. They're 6-pack and a pound this current All-Star break.
Yeah, at least it's light for you. I got plenty to talk about. At least recapping from the past weekend with the CAVA tournament. We'll start with the Cheyenne Mustangs as they went 4-2. However, losing twice to the Southern California Renegades. That second loss was in the semifinals of the CAVA World Series as they lost 11-2. Cheyenne Post 6, they put up a 5-2 effort in the CAVA World Series. Their two losses, one against Cherry Creek early in Wednesday, a loss of 9-6, and then also two in the semifinals against Four Corners, a final score of 5-4. So again, both teams making it all the way to the semifinals in the CAVA World Series. And also too, for Cheyenne Extreme, Team Galicia, they were competing in the Wyoming State Tournament. They were up in Casper, Wyoming this past weekend and went undefeated. They went 5-0, and they are your Wyoming State softball champions, as they will be heading out to, at least I do believe, they start up national play in Florida. Again, I'll need to double check that, but again, it will be coming up this weekend for the Cheyenne Extreme. So congratulations to them, the 2018 Wyoming State champions.
Major League Baseball, Bupkis, they are now officially at the All-Star break, so it will be the Midsummer Classic happening tomorrow night. Tonight, Home Run Derby.
That interests me more.
And also the Celebrity Softball Tournament.
That was yesterday.
Was that yesterday they had that?
Along with the World versus USA, the Futures game. They do that. Again, that's why they show it after the Home Run Derby, because it happens yesterday.
Okay.
So they do the home run today.
Bottom line is, who cares?
I'd rather watch that than the All-Star game.
There's no scores to pass along your way.
There will be. I mean, you'll have home run totals.
Bupkis.
Anyways.
Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk today, 514-1071, 307-514-1071. That is our telephone number since we are not using the phone line today. We do have Chrissy Wade in from Channel 5.
Hey, you got it right.
Yes,
Congrats. It took you only 2
And I didn't even need the idiot cards on that one. So
it's okay. I've said my own name wrong on live TV, and I'm like, just kidding. Let's start over. Rewind.
It's
fine.
Take 2.
Yep.
All right, we have... what's your name again? Nick Proetti over here, along with yours truly, the old guy. Let's talk Major League Baseball. We're at the Midsummer Classic, the All-Star break. And with the Rockheads, and we'll even throw in our Giants. Christy, I don't know how much you've been following the Rockies, but they've made a great surge. Matter of fact, they're at the Mendoza line now at Coors Field. They're 23-23. Shake your head all you want. They swept the M's. They got 2 out of 3 from the D-backs. This is a team that's surging right now. They are 2 games off the pace. Trades that might happen. I'm going to throw one out here, but your thoughts on the resurgence of the Rockies?
I haven't really been following the Rockies lately because this whole week has been mostly CAVA World Series and golf for me. But I will say,
you're like any other Rockies fan. They haven't really been paying attention either.
I just haven't. I have not been really focusing on them. But I will say I did watch some of the games from when they played the Mariners. I was pretty impressed. I like the Mariners. They're good. I mean, I saw, my little reporter friend who works for the Rockies. I think she got dumped with the
yeah.
So
Yesterday
like,
she got
she got the
drenched.
Gatorade shower. So.
And that's after Story hit the home run for the
Mhm.
Rockies yesterday, the walk-off.
I don't know where this is, again, for the Rockies, of where this resurgence, apparently it's, I'm kidding myself if I can't, if I don't say that they had it in them. Absolutely. It's a team that should be, for the Rockies, this is where you kind of anticipated them to be. Again, positive, at least at home. They were only at 500, but hey, you finally did it. Again, it's a team that should be competing in the NL West, should be up there at top. Absolutely, especially behind that powerful offense. Right now, heading into the All-Star break, hey, right now it's showing a team that is understanding to play Rockies baseball. It's meshing well. The bullpen is... it's okay. It's nothing. Still miles ahead. But
let's scrap that right now. Let's
scrap what?
The offense is now clicking.
Yeah, as it should have been. Game 1 in April.
But one of the key ingredients to that offense is Ian Desmond. I mean, Desi's hitting over 300, and he's
been consistent throughout. Hasn't he? Again,
he started out at $139 for the longest time.
He's been consistent for a few months, though.
For a few weeks now, he's been on top of his game. But again, going through that lineup, everybody's hitting. And again, Story, who was your Mr. Strikeout King last year, he is actually putting the ball in play. Parr is doing good things with the bat. Of course, Cargo's hitting well. Here's what's going to happen.
It's an offense that's playing like the offense that we expect.
All right, on the pitching side, Gray has come back. He threw well the other night against the M's. If you can get Gray, and he went down there to get fixed up, and I think they might have found the flaws. So he is going to be, again, not worried about who's going to be your number one. Gray can throw well. Freeland has been your most consistent pitcher. Anderson has been throwing well.
Is Freeland an All-Star game snub?
Yes.
As everyone's complaining about?
I think
I don't.
I think so. And again, Dave Roberts is the skipper, and Freeland has thrown well. He's thrown well his last 5 outings.
If you put him on any other team, and again, everyone's putting up the Coors.
The guy's got a 3.2 ERA. What the hell?
I'm just saying, is it really All-Star worthy, though?
Yeah. I think he's All-Star, especially with his last few starts.
Put him on any other team. I don't think he has that anywhere numbers. Again, he's spotlighting on them.
Have you been you don't even watch him, so how can you even say anything?
I don't want to watch them. They're just
anyway. So and right now you would look at Marquez. He needs to bring it up a notch. He's pitched well as of late. Bettis has a blister on his finger, so that'll give him some time to heal up. But the problem still reigns supreme. Your 7th and 8th inning guys, and one guy that needs to go is Jake McGee. They got to unload the guy.
Are they going to? Who knows?
The only way you unload him, and he's got a small contract. I think he's making $5 million, but is a team that's out of contention right now, and you need to start shopping around and looking for some type of bullpen help. Get Cargo. We talked already about Cargo ad nauseum. He's on a one-year deal.
He's got to be.
Tapia is ready to come up. I don't know when David Dahl is going to come off the injury reserve list. Brian Shaw has been a total bust. Mike Dunn is another one they can lose and wouldn't affect the ball club. But somewhere, Bridich is going to have to.
Again,
he's going to have to package something.
We've beaten this dead horse a million times.
Yeah, but you only got.
It's only going to be a situation of do the Rockies.
You only got 2 weeks and 2 days to get your.
Are they going to again?
Yeah, they're going to have to be. They're going to have to be buyers, but they're going to have to. They're going to have to sell off something. And again, most teams need bullpen help. Mm-hmm. And they may not do well.
When you look at this bullpen, you'd be like, I want him.
But again, you just said it before. You just sat there and whined about Coors Field. So maybe Jake McGee at Coors Field sucks, but maybe in Cleveland
he's great.
He's going to be great, or he's going to be great at Tampa.
I'm not the one saying anything about Coors. It's others around that have always tossed it out. But, again, where do you put the fairness or at least draw the line of going, hey, all right, he pitched at Coors, all right, or it's, hey, this is his numbers and that's what we got out of him. It's a situation where, again, the Freeland argument has been, he got snubbed because he plays at Coors. It's like, Are we still at that point that we still blame Coolersville for everything?
But you saw him pitch at San Francisco as he went toe to toe with Mad Bum.
My opinion,
and then he came back. Then he came back against the Giants again and pitched even better.
I'm just saying, of what I looked at least the National League pitching lineup that they have, again, he's not an all-star compared to the rest. At least in my opinion. Again, your Rockies, you got your representatives with Arenado, again Blackman. Have fun with it, but
Story,
but it's a situation.
And I do believe Bud Black is one of the coaches as well too, because
he's
friends with Dave Roberts.
Yeah, but again, for the Rockies, it's something we've beaten down many a time. Are they going to be sellers, buyers? Are they even going to do anything? We don't know. It's really a flip of the coin.
What do you think?
We talked about this last time, and I just think really for all of us, this whole thing I think has just left a really bad taste in our mouths because it was hyped up. And I think it got Rockies fans really excited about how much was spent on the bullpen and what the expectations that we thought were going to happen, and we haven't really seen it come to fruition. It's been kind of disappointing. But, I mean, we see the consistency, or not even really consistency. We see great things come from it every now and then. But is that something that's going to be long term? We need to think long term, otherwise we're going to find ourselves in the same position next season. So I mean, obviously we don't want to spend any more.
Well, they're not going to spend it. No, the Rockies are not going to spend any more money.
They're starting to see the eighth inning guy in Ottavino. I think they're getting their money's worth out of him.
When he's healthy.
Yeah.
And Davis has finally got the ERA under 4 now. He's into the 3s, but he has pitched well as of late. Again, it's your 7th inning guys. Your 7th and leading into the 8th inning guys. And again, it's McGee, it's Dunn, and again, those are 2 port-siders right there. Again, in addition to Brian Shaw.
It's the question of, are teams willing to pick them up, or are they going to take that gamble, or are they going to give pieces to the Rockies for them? Or again, it's just going to be interesting for the next 2 weeks to see if anyone's going to offer them.
See what you don't remember.
Again,
every team has free agents as of this year. So and again, like you told me, the Giants have everybody for sale.
Well, that's what they are saying.
That's what they're saying. But again, a lot of these teams that might be out of it.
Okay, the Giants are a team that buy year in and year out.
Let me use Baltimore as an example. All right.
Baltimore, they have nothing.
I know, but Machado, I'm just throwing him out there. He's a free agent at the end of the year.
He's not coming to Colorado.
I didn't say that. I'm just throwing it out there. Machado is a free agent. Somebody's going to want him because he's a good talent. He is a gun for hire this season. If you want to win the pennant, you're going to go after a gun for hire.
Okay, so the bullpen pieces with the Colorado Rockies, are they talent that you could go, hey, we could win a pennant if we get him on for our 7-6.
If you package McGee at $5 million, you package Cargo at $5 million.
This is not a front office that is known for making good moves, smart moves. Well, you spend a ton of money on pretty much garbage.
Here's an opportunity for young Bridich to make his mark for the Rockies. Is he going to put together a good deal? Guys who know how to put good deals together, Billy Beane in Oakland, where the A's are only 8 out, and they're trailing Seattle by 3 for that second wild card.
Year in and year out, fans would disagree with you on, does Billy Beane make good moves? Again, it's kind of hit and miss with what you get on his gambles out there in Oakland. It's certainly pieces where they have to eventually evolve into, but again, this Rockies team, they are not known for making big moves, not making great, franchise-altering moves. Of going, whoa. That instantly puts you up into World Series contention. Rockies are not doing that this year. Again, if I had to bet something on it, I guarantee the Rockies, they're going to make a minor move. They're probably sending Cargo off, but is it something where we're going to land a Machado, or you're going to land some big name coming out?
Free agent. Again, you're missing my point. My point is every team has a free agent, whether it's the Twins, whether it's Kansas City. Maybe it's Gordon in left field. They want to unload him. That's what I'm saying. The Rockies have some pieces to throw over to Kansas City, where Kansas City says, hey, we're not going to sign Gordon next year.
My point, but anyways, I'll let you rant off. Because, again, the Rockies it's a team that does not do anything
You're the same guy that said here 2 weeks ago, and Christy was here, the Rockies are out of it. They can't do nothing.
I never said they're out of it. It was a situation where they're going to be out of it. It's something that if They did not change and alter. It was a situation that they were going to be out of it. Congrats, they're doing what they needed to do. So that's where we're at.
It's just kind of like having a 900 piece puzzle where all the pieces aren't quite in the box yet. Like the whole picture can be there, but you just haven't found the right pieces to make it complete. And with free agents, I mean, maybe that's where we find those pieces that do fit into the lineup. I mean,
it was a situation where the Rockies in the offseason did, at least kind of off of your metaphor, did go, hey, we are missing those pieces. But instead of matching pieces for the rest of the puzzle, they just took random and go, maybe that'll fit in here, or that will.
The corners
they try to put a square peg into a round hole, and it doesn't work. So with the Rockheads right now, hopefully we'll make a decision if they're going to be buyers. Like I said, I have a feeling what I'm going to laugh at is that we're going to see Oakland probably as a buyer. Let's go to the phone line here real quick. And good afternoon, welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk today. How you doing?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to chip in my 2 cents worth. The NL West is just log jammed, and I hear you and Nick arguing a little bit about the whole Rocky scenario, but I think I think the Rockies are ascending right now, being 13 and 3 out of their last 16. I'd want to say to Nick or anybody that maybe just why couldn't the Rockies replicate something similar to what they did, and going forward now a case could be made for all the other 3 teams that are log jammed. I just wondered how you guys see the NL West playing out.
And that's a situation where you go with the Rockies. It's certainly a team of what they're doing right now. Does not surprise me 100%. Again, it's a team you kind of expect this. And the NL West, it's going to be a dogfight to 162. I guarantee it. Whoever's playing, last game of this season is going to be determined of who's going to be the NL West, at least division champion. For the Rockies, is this something that carries past All-Star break, for the rest of the months? Possibly. I would go and lean, again, off what that offense should be, of what it could do. I'd say yes, it can still be on a trend upwards and still compete to be a playoff team, but will it keep going? You just don't know with this team. You really don't know, especially at this. You finally made it to a 500 home record. Who knows with the Rockies? Giants, they're another team. You could flip a coin. They could do whatever. They can trend downward. It's a team right now for the Giants. They need a few big moves, at least before trade deadline. Few altered pieces. Maybe get rid of a Panic or a Pence or someone. Or
Panic, Pence, Schmarza. I think those 3 are definitely going to be on the block. Maybe Stratton as well.
It's a team that is not afraid to make moves and alter and try to get back in the playoffs. Giants, at this point in time, they're not an NL West Division championship team, but they potentially could be.
But they also showed us by getting rid of Jackson. They said, sorry, pal.
Yeah, it's not working. So, again,
you're out of here.
It'll be interesting to see. Diamondbacks, they're good. Will they continue to be good?
They need another solid bat in their lineup, and obviously they won't go after a Cargo because, the Rockies aren't going to trade within their division. That'd be silly.
And then the Dodgers are the Dodgers. They're figuring things out. Right now, at this point in time, I think they are your West leaders, or at least I can see them absolutely being your NL West kind of champions. There's really nothing showing that they're going to slow down anytime soon. They're getting those healthy pieces back. Amongst them, Dodgers at this point in time, do they need to do anything, or at least, again, make offseason moves? Not really.
If something falls in their lap, now they may unload Puig. Now that may happen because if I'm not mistaken, I think he's a free agent. So they may not so much that he's a basket case or anything like that, but they are pretty healthy in the outfield right now. And I don't know if Puig is on the move. I mean, that would not surprise me if he went to an Oakland. To be real honest,
potentially, I don't know.
I mean, that's I've seen stranger things happen in Major League Baseball, but again, starting pitching. It's pretty solid right now. If Kershaw stays healthy, they're pretty solid. Their middle relief, it's got question marks, but if you can get to Kenley Jansen, game, set, match.
Yeah. Well, I'll reflect the question off of Chrissy again. Here we are, All-Star break. We know it's it's a mess right now. Padres, you can pretty much toss them out. They're not competing to win that division at any time soon. But you have Giants, you have Rockies, you have Dodgers, you have Diamondbacks competing. Who do you see at least rounding out? Again, do we see 3 NL West teams competing in the playoffs? Are we seeing 1? Are the Rockies going to be that? Are they going to finally win this division for the first time in franchise history? What are your kind of thoughts after here it is, Game 162. Where do you see the NL West?
Well, I'm such a Dodgers fan to begin with. I know you're asking the wrong person. So, I mean, you were saying, with Yasiel Puig being a free agent, I would hate to see him go anywhere else. I mean, I love him, but I see the Dodgers kind of staying on top. That's just a biased opinion.
Yeah, that's fine. You can be biased on
fine.
it. Again, we have a Beat LA sign right over there. You know how we feel.
I'm going to bring in my Dodgers shaker cup next
time.
No.
You go ahead. Watch how many pieces we can break it into. The thing is with the Major League Baseball, you look at teams that we've always traded with. The Atlantas of the world, the Philadelphias of the world. You can't trade with them. They're going to be buyers now.
I don't think the Rockies are going to win it for the first time in franchise history. Not this year.
Yeah,
I don't think they got enough to beat even LA right now to capture the division. But the thing is, too, again, you look at traditional teams that you are buying and selling with, even in the Central Division. Usually it's the Cubs and the Cardinals. Well, you got the Brewers now up on top, and the Cardinals are playing well. So you have Cincinnati. I don't know how much Cincinnati wants to sell off.
Cardinals are a team that are looking to go downwards, especially when they just released Mike Matheny, too.
And that was a shock to me, getting rid of Matheny. Again, the Pirates might be some sellers. Again, I know what we need to do.
Yeah.
You look over in the American League, Yankees and Boston, they're not going to be buying or selling anything right now, but you got Toronto, you got Tampa, and you got Baltimore that's going to be shipping off. Cleveland's got their division wrapped up. You got 4 teams there. People are going to look at the Tigers. I think that's where they're going to start shopping for, is off the Tigers lineup. And then you look at the West.
But who are you picking up again? At least
Cabrera?
Yeah,
why not? Why not?
Maybe.
But again, too, in the West, all you have is Texas to deal with. Maybe the Angels. Angels might be buying and selling. But again, anything that they do right now is for Mike Scioscia's job. If they don't do anything this year,
they've given up. Again, the Angels, they're not competing, especially with Oakland trending. Mariners are doing very well. And again, obviously Houston, you can't deny them. Angels, that's a team where, do I dare say it? Do they go and entertain, hey, we have Mike Trout. Who wants him?
Well, no.
Who's willing to give us some pieces?
He's the face of the franchise. Same thing with Pujols.
But clearly it's not doing anything. They haven't really done much with a Mike Trout on that team. Again, we've seen teams who've had that superstar. Again, one Miami Marlins who go, hey, we got Giancarlo Stanton here. He's our National League MVP on this team.
Right.
Hey, Yankees, have fun.
Yeah, and pick up the big contract. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. Speaking of trades, well, we got trades going on, elsewhere, but not Major League Baseball. We'll be back after these words.
For 56 years, 1480 K-Ray has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Also with KYY FM, we are Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM/FM combo radio stations. Add that to the addition of 3 FM radio translators to serve the area with programming from both K-Ray and KYY, and that equals a lot of bang for your local advertising dollar. Radio, yesterday and today, still works. For more information, contact Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Boys, I know you take great pride in being prairie dogs, but a mascot needs more sizzle. And what has more sizzle than Taco John's new sirloin steak burritos? So meet your new mascot, a sirloin steak burrito.
Taco John's new sirloin steak burritos are loaded with steak and bold flavors like cheesesteak, steak and potato, and steak and shrimp.
God, Wachowski, stop eating the mascot.
Olay the Day at Taco John's.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
Otherwise, for today, mostly sunny with a chance for showers and thunderstorms. Expected daytime high of 80 degrees. For tonight, mostly cloudy with a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Our low drop down to 55. Tuesday's forecast calling for a partly sunny day. We're expecting a daytime high of 82. And for Tuesday night, partly cloudy with our low down to 56 degrees.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on the show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
Speaking of the Wyoming Cowboys, as I heard that intro, if you did not hear, Andrew Wingard and Carl Granderson named to the Chuck Bednarik Award watch list. Chuck Bednarik, for you young people, was a two-way performer for the champion Philadelphia Eagles way back when. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, the guy was a stud. But, and again, we're talking about two guys on the defensive side for the Cowboys who are expected to be studs this year. So, again, both.
We expect that whole defense to be solid.
Absolutely.
Again, right now,
absolutely.
The biggest question mark is the offensive. What are they going to do? Are they going to be able to keep up? Are they going to be able to even put points on the board to actually assist that defense? Again, that is, for me, honestly, the biggest question of this year of we know what the defense is going to do. Obviously, they're going to have their struggles against Missouri and Washington State. There's no doubt about that. I don't anticipate Wyoming winning those games. But, you know, against the rest of, especially come Mountain West time, are they going to be able to handle Boise's of the world? Are they going to be able to go down to CSU and take care of that team again? As much as CSU is, or at least at the rebuild process, again, losing Michael Gallup and a few other big names off their offensive piece, you know, what are the Cowboys? And this could start its own conversation. Right now, at this point in time, again, obviously we have not set starters. We just have what is kind of the anticipated depth chart. This is a team that you should be thankful if it hits 500 this season.
Now, Christy, I disagree with what he said. I think defenses do win championships. I think the Cowboys are boasting, in my 30-plus years here, one of the best defenses ever. If they can get Vander Waal set into that quarterback position, if he has the tools similar to one Josh Allen, and again, there's only one of a kind, Josh Allen, but if you have a quarterback that can ad-lib as well as Josh Allen, then I think the offense comes around. I think we've got good weapons on the offensive side of the football. I agree with you, Nick, to a certain point with Washington State and Missouri. If we were putting those down on the scorebook as L's,
you got it.
Probably, but as long as they're competitive. If they're competitive, those games, I think this team.
They got to get points on the board though against those two teams to be competitive.
Again, we saw a mid-tier Oregon team come in last year. Again, they are middle of the road Pac-12. This is one of the elite, at least a Washington State team that is trending upwards, one of the top in that Pac-12 North. And sorry, even with it being here in Laramie, that is not going to be a pretty.
And again, I've watched this defense grow up. Because, again, a lot of these guys were freshmen, and they have played the 4 years through this system. And they are expected to do wonders this year. They can defensively do wonders. Again, they don't.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. But
they won't beat the Cougars, right. Tigers, I don't think they. But, again, if they don't get short fields, which the offense gave against Oregon especially and at Iowa last year, gave them short fields, I think this defense will be not bend or break type of defense.
You got short fields last season with Josh Allen as your QB. That wasn't even the San Jose State.
And that was Oregon.
Games.
I know, I saw
I'm just saying that was with him at the helm where you were still getting that short field. Imagine now where we're kind of question marks where, again, whether it is Vanderwall, whether it is Smith, whoever is at the helm. Again, you got a big question mark of, is he going to be Josh Allen S? Is he going to be better if he's worse than Josh Allen or something? Again, you kind of play that game. What is the situation? But again, defense, we've seen great defenses. I'll even toss in the NFL again. We've seen it with the 49ers where, hey, remember those great years under, at least the 1 year under, I'm trying to think of who was the coach under that rotation. But there were.
Singletary?
Yeah, at least Singletary that 1 year where, again, solid defense, led behind Patrick Willis and a few others. But you had no quarter. At least you were still figuring out offenses with Alex Smith. Guess what? They lost a good amount of games that season where, hey, that offense couldn't put up any points. Your defense can only do so much for you.
Your argument is well taken, and we'll get you in on this too, Christy. Your argument's well taken, but the offense,
it's a question mark. We don't know what we're getting.
Most of those guys back are a year older. No different than the defense. The defense, as just like fine wine, they've gotten better with age. And this defense is expected to do great things this year. The offense, yes, with Vanderwall, if he will be your starting quarterback, will be a work in progress, but he's got veterans out there that have been through the D1 wars. So if we can at least not give up, just a short field for the defense and keep those guys with their tongues wagging out all the time because we constantly got them on the field. We go 3 and out. I think this team can be a lot better than a 500 team.
Well, what about Mountain West? And when we start getting into conference games, I think their defense will be stand out probably in the Mountain West, like as a whole. That'll be one of the more lethal ones, I think. But when it comes to offense, since there is that question mark, we really don't know what's going to happen. I mean, that's kind of concerning. You can't really, think ahead of how we're going to be this year when we don't really know what to expect.
Yeah,
we're all still kind of recovering from Josh Allen mania, too, with the whole thing, and losing him is kind of traumatic.
And again, too, the numbers last year put up by Josh were not all that stellar.
They were not good at all.
No.
Again, that was.
Didn't he have his shoulder? He had his shoulder.
Yeah, that was later on in the season.
But even throughout the season, it was not good. And again, it was kind of the pieces that were around him, pieces that you're saying, hey, are getting a year older.
I mean, he had receivers last year that couldn't catch a cold.
Yeah, they were pretty rough.
And the sad part is, again, Josh Allen, which made him more special than a lot of the quarterbacks that come through UW, that he was a great ad-libber. Mm-hmm. I mean, the play would be one thing, and he would end up doing other things. What does that tell me? He was running for his life.
Yeah.
Because the offense was not there. The line last year was probably one of the weakest I've seen. This year, it's a little stronger. It's a little more veteran.
You can only hope so.
But again, I right now weigh this football team on its defensive merits. I think, yes, again, I'm going to throw the Cougars out there and I'm going to throw the Tigers out there. They are good outfits, no doubt about it. If we win, that means that Moses is part of the
SEC again. That's like the biggest upset in probably Cowboys history. If you pull up a win,
it'd be one hell of a win,
especially in Columbia again against an SEC team of Missouri, or either again at home against a top-notch Pac-12 team. Absolutely, of what this team is. Would be one of the most monstrous, upsets of at least in Cowboy history. But it is over there in Laramie one of the best kept secrets of what to expect out of this offense. Of are they going to be good? Are they going to? If that offense shows any sign that they are good quality, not even have to be like a Josh Allen at the helm with Vanderwall or whoever's starting, but if they could put solid points on the board like they did last season. Then, yeah, it's a team that could be well above 500. But at this point in time where, again, you kind of go in as a question mark, again, you're already chalking up 2 losses, already behind the 8 ball right now with Missouri and Washington State. Seeing the rest of that kind of Mountain West schedule, it's going to be a tough go at it. It really is. It's going to be.
You and me are going to agree to disagree on this one. I think, and Christy, you might be a little more with the real pro man here. I think the Cowboys probably will hold their own in Mountain West Conference play.
Will they in those Mountain West shootouts that we know about again? Hey, it's 30, 40, 50 points. Are they going to be able to keep up with
I don't think you're going to
Utah State that can do that?
I don't think they're going to give up those 30, 40, 50 points like you say. I don't see that happening.
I am more concerned with going up against someone like Boise State.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, that's always scary. And then CSU, obviously. For me, though, this will be like my actual like full year of actually covering the Cowboys in football, because I came in late last year. I came in like towards November. So this will actually be my first full year of kind of trying to figure them out still. But I think in the Mountain West as a whole, I mean, we're not going to be terrible.
We'll certainly see. Again,
you're going to catch CSU in a down year.
Yeah,
Hawaii. There's some.
You still got to travel to Hawaii.
You got to go to the islands. I will give you that. Boise's always good. We're never going to take anything away from Boise. Utah State Aggies.
They're anticipated to be good this year. So
you know,
but they are coming here.
Air Force. You know, Air Force is going to be a little bit better.
Yeah.
But again, I see a defense this year for the Wyoming Cowboys that is not going to break. You might bend them, but they're not going to break. And defense wins championships. I'm telling you. And I think the Cowboys got a very good shot to hang their hat on this defense this year in the Mountain West Conference. In preseason, yes, they got a couple of games that they should roll.
Oh, yeah, Warford or whoever, they should hopefully take care of business there. Warford, whoever, some team that's just getting paid a boatload of money coming out to Laramie, but...
I think they will hold their own in the Mountain West Conference. We got to take a timeout. We got to come back. We haven't gotten into the basketball because we're going to go 100 miles south. The Nuggets are involved in trades. Come on, get out of here. We're back after these words.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner. Do you have a big remodeling project in mind? Then the best tool for you is a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank. Whether you are remodeling, making home repairs, or expanding, a home equity line of credit can help you finish that project. Stop in and we'll show you the hidden value in your home with a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank.
Some restrictions may apply, subject to credit approval. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The time is now, and the place to go is Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service for their annual model clearance sale of Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. This is your year to travel the countryside, and what better way with your Jayco RV from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And to put you on the road today, save 30% on their annual model clearance. Their savings are always the best on whatever model you select. Come see and take home your favorite today when you buy from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service at 6102 East Highway 30 in Cheyenne, or go online to jollyrogersrvs.com.
John Mason here for Lincoln Way Liquor. I want to thank Cheyenne for helping us grow during our first year of business. We have over 5,000 new customers in our database in just 13 months. Our customers love our low prices, free ice, 2% credit for future purchases, and some really friendly service. And we always have 16 weekly specials on beer, wine, and liquor. We ask you to compare Lincoln Way Liquor, 2825 East Lincoln Way. We're not the largest, but we might just be the best.
Wow, it's hot enough out there to fry chicken. So now's the time to find ways to beat the heat, and Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, is the best place to go to get cool.
Marv's Plumbing and Heating, which provides complete air conditioning, installation, inspection, and repair services, is offering its air conditioning inspections for just $98. So beat the heat right now by calling Marv's Plumbing and Heating today at 316-7634. That's 316-7634. Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast, only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
Otherwise, for today, mostly sunny with a chance for showers and thunderstorms. Expected daytime high of 80 degrees. For tonight, mostly cloudy with a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Our low drop down to 55. Tuesday's forecast calling for a partly sunny day. We're expecting a daytime high of 82. And for Tuesday night, partly cloudy with our low down to 56 degrees.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and the day is flying by. And again, we want to thank Christy Waite for joining us here from TV5. You know, the Denver Nuggets want to prove to both Nick and myself that we don't know what the hell we're talking about.
I know what I'm talking about.
They really want to be a playoff team this year. They did get rid of one element that needed to go bye-bye.
I've been saying that for 5 years.
But they got rid of it finally. Then I see them grabbing another element, which I don't think is a wise.
Does it tickle my fancy? Does it say, "Oh, wow, cool"? Nuggets are now vaulting them into the top 8 out there in the Western Conference. No, but what we are talking about, we'll start with the move that you just mentioned. Again, free agency move for the Denver Nuggets. 1 year, I do believe, $12 million contract for one Isaiah Thomas Jr. out of again formerly of the Los Angeles Lakers. Cleveland didn't want him. Lakers weren't all hard up to get him. At least
Boston didn't even want him.
Again, it's a former player on the Kings. He's a transitional player. Is it something where that goes, whoa?
Well, but it might.
Whoa, they are competing now in the West.
Christy, it might help that he is reunited with Mike Malone. That may help because he has not. I mean, he fared okay.
He barely could get control of that locker room last year.
But I don't know, maybe reuniting with the head coach, maybe?
Maybe. In my head, he's old.
He had one good year with Boston.
Yeah.
And the rest, he's a subpar player at that. Again, he has talent, but he's nothing like people are just hyping him up about.
I don't like the move myself. I mean, but the only thing I can hang my hat on is, boom, he's reunited with Mike Malone. Maybe he can settle him down. Don't know.
Raw, I guess.
This is what we were talking, you and I were saying. It's this whole, here we go. It's like with the Rockies. Everyone's getting us all hyped up about everything. And here we go. We're going to be all let down.
Yeah,
Isaiah Thomas, I'm already let down.
It's a cruel thing that the Nuggets are doing to their fan base of, hey, we got all these big names, but it's in the West.
They also got rid of a piece that needed to go bye-bye, and I'm
the
sure
biggest cancer. And again, I
don't think there's a lot of people in Denver right now shedding a tear.
No, again, he was at the core, Kenneth Faried. He finally has been traded. He is moving on to the Brooklyn Nets.
Good. That's where he needs to go.
But Kenneth Faried at his core was a good player. Again, I remember the last playoff season where, again, they were the 3 seed against the 6 seed Warriors, as I saw that one live at the Pepsi Center. But he had talent. He was a good player. He was just a head case on the bench in the locker room. He was notorious for just kind of being egotistical, and it was all about him. He was kind of molding into Carmelo Anthony Part 2 in Denver, and it was a situation where I've been calling it for quite some time. He doesn't need to be there. He's bad for that locker room. If you want to be a winning program, you got to get that negativity like a Carmelo or whoever. Again, get him out and kind of just move on with them. As much as they are good talents, again, Carmelo, sure, he's a great athlete. Kenneth Faried has stints where he can be great as well, but it's that kind of personality where, that team chemistry where that's kind of important as well, too, to kind of vibe with coaches or players. But, thankfully, Nuggets, as I kind of push this offseason, I've been telling, again, we asked Pat, we've asked Gina, we've asked many Nuggets insiders are going, hey, are they going to get rid of them? They need to.
But here's the deal with the Nuggets, and this is a typical Kroenke run operation.
They're cheap.
They cleared a lot of salary cap money.
And they're trying to avoid the luxury tax.
So they got rid of Fareed. They get rid of power forward Daryl Arthur. They're getting rid of their 2019 first round pick, whether it's 1 through 12.
You haven't even said who they're getting, though.
Yeah, and then they're getting also a future second round pick. They're getting Isaiah Whitehead.
Woohoo! Oh boy,
they sold a lot of the farm for
nothing.
Yeah,
you got rid of.
You got rid of the bad element of the locker room, but you
gave away a lot more than what you got back in return for Brooklyn.
They cleared $21 million salary. That's what they did. They got rid of salary.
Because again, they're avoiding that luxury tax, which is the first year that they were going to at least. I do believe that they're still in process, or at least it's a small amount of the $15 million that they were having to pay a few weeks ago. But it is a situation where they are trying to get away from that luxury tax and not pay it at all. Because again, they are cheap.
The Nets got the great end of the deal on this one.
Absolutely. They got a steal in this one, especially if they can kind of reel in Kenneth Faried, get him back on the track of going, hey, focus on basketball, mesh with this team, and get back into that high level playing that you were a few years ago. They absolutely got a steal. Isaiah Whitehead, he was good years ago. He's had rough stints. It's nothing major for the Denver Nuggets. Does any of these moves that they have done, kudos to them of at least addressing the Fareed issue, but is this something, bringing on Isaiah Thomas, and also to Whitehead?
No.
It does not elevate this team to be anywhere in that 8 spots of the Western Conference, especially where Lakers are vaulting you.
Well, they got 3 pieces of the puzzle taken care of. They got Jokic under contract, got Barton taken care of. They got, and they got Isaiah Thomas in now, who obviously will be a starter. So
I'm telling you, the Lakers didn't want to keep him on. They had that opportunity to re-sign him, and guess what? They go, sorry, we got better pieces.
He's not going to mesh with LeBron James.
It's not good when they're happy with Lonzo Ball and they go.
I'm not even sure Lonzo Ball is going to be a Laker when it's all said and done. I just don't see.
They're injured right now.
Wait till the LeVar Ball and James clash. It's going to be classic. But I mean the Nuggets, they do everything cheap. And they proved it to us. Yes, getting Jokic under a big contract, great, terrific. They also, make another, in free agency. They also sign
with Will Barton.
Yeah, they sign him for some big bucks. $12 million is a steal by today's standards on Isaiah Thomas Jr. But again, he's a mediocre guard.
Yeah.
So he's making mediocre money in the NBA.
Get what you pay for.
Yeah, the Nuggets, to me, if they are an 8 team. I don't think so. I think
they're pushing 8.
I think they're 9 or 10. If that.
Again, Warriors, Lakers, Oklahoma City, Portland still at this
Houston.
point. Houston. I think you dump out San Antonio.
I don't know. They'll find a way to get in there.
Minnesota at its core, but again, they're trying to figure out, especially with a few at least pieces.
New Orleans,
especially losing Boogie, but
they're okay though.
Who else am I thinking, or at least missing? Again, Portland.
You got Utah in there.
Yeah, Utah should be. So that's 8 teams right there.
Yeah, the Nuggets are on the outside looking in again.
Yeah, and again, even with the Spurs, especially under the leadership of Popovich, I still don't want to put them out of things. Even, again, they're going to lose Kawhi.
You got the L.A. Clippers that will kind of hover around. Again, the Nuggets are going to be like the Clippers. They're going to hover near that 8 spot, but they're going to probably be about a 9 or 10 this year.
It's going to be another long season for the Nuggets.
And they might be at the Mendoza line, and that's about as good as they're going to be.
We were talking off air, at least me and Chris. It goes back to last season where they're kind of hyping up this team and going, hey, look, we beat the Warriors, we beat the Spurs, we beat all these top-level teams. When it comes to game 82 here against Minnesota, that chance to make it in the 8 spot, Oh, we collapsed.
Well, they also lost every game to Houston too. So I mean, you can't beat Houston, then you're not going to make the playoffs. Anyway, we want to wrap things up here because I can't believe how late we are. We want to remind everybody we are back at it again with our Golden Age Radio Theater.
As always.
From 8 until 10. Red Skelton from 8 until 9 times 2. And Suspense Theater from 9 until 10 as we do this each Monday
you're looking
through
at
Thursday.
my notes.
I am not. I can't even see that far, so give me a break. I got to put on my glasses. All right, so we wrap up our program. I'm going to let our guest hostess, Christy, have first crack at your on this date in history. Go ahead.
Okay.
I won't say nothing.
No.
Well, it's up to both of you, but again, I don't trust that you saw this. But anyways, it is July 16th. We'll go back to the year 1960. This record happened in soccer. This world record happened in soccer, and it was the theme of the World Cup back in 1960, July 16th. This world record happened
It was like 30 years before I was even born.
It was well past. Yeah, I mean, I was born in 90.
I'm 3 years old, and I don't know what the hell happened back in 1960.
But it was a world record, though. It was a world record.
That somebody got a hat trick?
In soccer.
A hat trick?
No, not at all. You're thinking, again, think of world record, World Cup. It was in Rio de Janeiro. And it happened to have Brazil in the final of the World Cup. Why would this game be a world record to see Brazil for the final World Cup?
Did they lose?
Pele scored? I don't know.
All right, so July 16th, 1960, 205,000 people set a world record attendance for a soccer match. It is still number one at this point in time to see Brazil versus Uruguay in the World Cup finals in Rio de Janeiro. So 205,000 people got to see Brazil, who did win the World Cup that year against Uruguay.
I said they lost. What do I know?
Wow.
I picked the wrong.
Hey, 205,000, that's not too shabby, though.
Well, they must have had a lot. Must have had a hell of a parking.
I was gonna say they didn't have anything. They didn't have anything better to do.
I think
in
they got it almost cleared up now. Everybody's going to finally get home. All right. With that all being said, Christy, thank you so much. Again, weekends on TV5.
Yep.
That we can catch you
out
anchoring the sports.
Out and about doing everything. Again, not even just sports. She's covering all sorts of news, right?
I'm doing news too.
See, there you go. She's
doing it all.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. That's why you make the big bucks over at TV5.
Absolutely.
Mostly sports.
All righty. And for Nick Proetti, I'm Larry Proetti. We thank you so much for joining us on Wyoming Sports Talk today. We're back at it again tomorrow from 3 until 5 p.m.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.